Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope that wherever you're at, you're having a wonderful day. Today, I'm back, as you can see, with more Transformers goodness here. Legacy continues to bless us with more awesome figures. This time is Animated Universe Optimus Prime. Of course, me being a huge Transformers fan, I just had to get myself a animated Optimus. Now, I'm not too familiar with the animated show. I have seen a couple of episodes here and there, and unfortunately, I missed out on the earlier toy line when it was out originally. So I figured, why not? Let me jump in and see what this Optimus is all about. He does look pretty cool. I gotta say, I got this from Hasbro Pulse pretty quickly. Here you could see on the side the box itself with the artwork of Optimus. No face mask, which I believe in the show he had a face mask that he could take on and off, at least from what I could remember. Of course, his axe. Here's no plastic window, and he does look very hefty, so I'm quite happy of how chunky this robot is. Here's his vehicle mode, Transformers Legacy United. And here on the left, on the right, of course, is the Legacy United theme. You've got Optimus there, all the different bots that I'm not too familiar with, but I'm glad they're expanding into different lines and different sets. 40th anniversary. I am officially really old. Here on the back, of course, we've got Optimus himself, and show him holding his weapons. 25 steps, and then change him back into, or change him into his vehicle mode. So very excited to open this one. The packaging is really nice, actually. Oftentimes when you order toys online like I do, usually you're very weary of how the packaging may come in, but I gotta say, this thing's nearly mint. If I kept my figures mint in box, this would be a really good example. But nonetheless, I'm gonna get this open, show you guys what Optimus here is all about. Okay, so here we are back with Animated Universe Optimus Prime. And I gotta say, right out of the box, the impressions are quite positive. To start off, you don't get much in the way of accessories. Obviously, you get your instructions, which I would recommend you do go over, as a lot of the transformation is very intricate as far as the leg panels, especially the chest. So yeah, review those. But you get the main guy, the big guy here. He looks awesome. One of the main accessories here that you do get, as you could see, is I have him holding up his axe, which, as you could see, he can definitely hold in his hand. So we'll put him aside for now. The axe itself is pretty cool. You've got your red color there. You got your silver. You got clear plastic, painted some silver here. And then, of course, you got clear plastic, which looks awesome. I think in weapons wise, the clear plastic is what I prefer. It looks really, really nice. And the details that they've added here, again, in the red and the silver, are really well done. And you got some darker plain gray pictures, plain gray details here on the handle. Just trying to get a better focus there. And the cool thing about this axe is that it can expand. So normally you can have it like this, and he could hold it in one hand, just as a one axe, I guess, and then you can expand it and he can hold it more, I guess, here. Pretty long, but really, really cool that they've included this. This is probably one of the first Optimus figures that I have that doesn't come with a gun, which is, I guess, a nice change of pace, but I guess it would have been nice for him to have a gun. Now, to be fair, I'm not too familiar with the animated universe, so perhaps he mostly relied on this awesome axe, but I guess it would have been nice for him to have another weapon. But nonetheless, that does not take away from how awesome this figure is. Again, if you had a chance to look through my review for Armada Optimus Prime, that figure was awesome, and it really made me a fan of the figure as a whole, or just the Armada universe. I think this one does the same for me. And again, that's what's really cool about the Legacy line, is that they've expanded past just G1, which, again, me myself, I'm a G1 person, and they've allowed me to get into figures like this, like Armada, and sort of trying to get into that collection. And this figure is really, really cool. To start off, you get that awesome head and face. Again, this is definitely Optimus Prime. No face mask, which again, I would have preferred if they gave you maybe alternate head with the face mask, but what's here is really well done. The details on the head here, you got some light blue, some silver, the eyes, again, different color blue than the head, and then the face. And, the sculpting, again, no issues on my end. Definitely Prime here. As you guys could see, you can move this head for the most part fully around. He can look up slightly, but then he can't really look down. But the head itself, great job there. The rest of the body, and I think this is where this figure really comes together for me, is just how bulky and nice these figures are. Definitely a unit of a robot here, animated Optimus is. But to start us off, you got this nice bulky chest. You've got the windows, you got the lights here, the light details from the truck mode. You got the lines here in black. You got the abs. And again, I went back and looked through, some of the animated actual drawings or show. And this is pretty, indicative of how he looked like in the cartoon. So again, great job there. You got the little, I guess, lights here. But the shape they've done here is really cool. Moving on down with the arms again. Again, this is a beefy boy, so he's really cool. He's pretty big. You've got the nice Autobot insignia here on the left arm, with the big forearms, big biceps, big triceps, whatever you want to call them, forearms, and of course the hands here, which do rotate. So that's really cool. They don't really move in any direction. They can come out because of the transformation aspect of it, but the range is just limited to just kind of turning. And the hand, no articulated fingers, so you kind of just get the fist kind of stuck there, which again, I don't mind for this figure, but I love the fact that this whole upper body comes together really, really well. He's well proportioned. Then we move on down to the waist area here. Again, you got the blue with the yellow, which again, they added some nice detailing here. And then moving on down to the legs, you have the gray, which is pretty drab, but again, it looks really cool. The details there, and then you've got the legs, with the wheels, and the nice blue again to represent Optimus there. It's got these feet here, which we do get some ankle articulation, and they can also extend out. That's part of the transformation. But you get some nice range of motion here with the ankles to play with. Same thing with the knees here. Again, he's got some really nice articulation. He can kick back. You can split if you want to animate Optimus to the splits that much. Again, same thing on the other side. So again, I think you'll be able to get this guy in some nice poses. The waist, those turn completely, fully around. Initially, when I took my figure out of the box, turning the waist kind of caused there's like a mushroom peg, I guess, there to kind of pop out. I put it back in, and I haven't had any issues since. So again, just something to note. It's not anything major for me, but you can move the waist fully around. And then, of course, the arms here, they're a little stiff for my copy, but you can carefully move them all the way around. I don't like to force figures. If I feel some kind of resistance, I usually stop. The forearms here have this joint here that you can use for articulation. Again, he's kind of, because of the transformation, he's double jointed here at the elbow. And again, as I showed you earlier, the hands here to move completely around. But really cool figure nonetheless. I mean, if you wanted to put this guy in a bit of a, like a spread out pose, you can. He looks like he's ready to tackle someone. So that's really cool there. So this guy is very poseable. And again, what I appreciate about animated, obviously you can tell, right, if you're a G1 fan, this is definitely Optimus Prime. I think they carried over that animated design really well to the toy here. As far as the back, it's pretty clean. He doesn't have a backpack. I mean, I guess you could consider this roof section for the car mode his backpack, but it's not anything egregious to me. I think if anything, it adds to the upper body bulk, and again, it adds to his proportions, so it looks really cool. You do see some of the detailing here for the transformation, kind of just hanging out, which again to me, I don't mind. I think when you put this guy in the different poses, I think he's gonna look really cool. But overall, really happy with this one. I'm glad I unfortunately missed out on the original releases of animated figures way back when, so I'm glad they were able to release this one. I'm hoping they do Dinobots. I recall seeing the Dinobots from animated, and they actually look really cool. So if they do decide to release those, I probably will end up getting those. So overall, I would say 2 thumbs up. I'm really liking this animated Optimus. Not only is it very reminiscent of G1, but I think they took that and say, hey, let's kind of try and make this our own thing. And I think they succeeded in that case. And this toy is really awesome. Now, as far as transformation, as I said, I would certainly review the instructions, although sometimes it's fun to try and do this without it. So I'm going to attempt to do that in this case. And the first place to start would be, let's start off down here with these legs. So as I showed you earlier, first thing to do is a foot here. Just take this and extend it completely out. Same thing here. Take this, extend it completely out. Move the legs out. Move the arms to give you a bit of room for now. And then you'll see here that there's a panel section, right? And essentially you have to take this and swing it out. So like that, kind of opens. I don't know if you guys can see that. And there is a tab here that kind of holds that in place. So as you're trying to pull this out, I would slightly sort of try to push it down a little to allow it to release. But once you do that, you're then going to be left with something like that for now. So we do the same thing here. You're going to take this and you're going to slightly, for now, have something that looks like that. Slide this forward. So he'll look something like this, a little crazy. As you could tell, this says slide forward and up, but we'll leave that for a little bit. That's also part of the transformation. There's another tab here that holds this in place. And we're eventually going to fold these two into the upper leg portion. Next thing to do would be to undo the back here. So we can undo this. There's just 2 tabs holding this in place. So one here on both sides. So here and here, and just move that out. Same thing here with the chest. There's tabs here by the neck, by the front of the chest that you could just pull out. It's actually not tab, but it's like 2 dots. You could see it there. And you can pull this out. So you could see kind of how this is coming together. So next thing to do would be with the arms here. We're gonna turn these around so that they're sort of facing like that. Same thing here. Turn these around, make them face each other like that. Next thing to do would be to just position the arms up like this for now. Take these hands and pull them out, and you're gonna turn them. You're gonna turn these hands like that, and you'll see if you have this correct, because it'll sit right in here and it'll be able to close. Same thing here. Take this, boom, and then slide this in again. That kind of fits in place really well. And there you go. Next thing to do is you will see, and you can kind of tell here, all these sections kind of match up, and you'll see that there's a tab here with a section for it to go in. And you're going to take this and essentially fold it completely all the way in, and you're going to make sure that that section gets tabbed into there like that, so that you're left with something like that. And you can kind of see the side of the truck that is. So again, same thing here. I'm gonna take this, fold this, and just make sure sticks, you line that up with the tab there. And then you're good. So now you're gonna be left with something that looks somewhat like this in this case. Next thing to do is you'll see here, these can pivot around, so you can move them up. And then the wheels are gonna be somewhat like this. So just, for now, take these and just separate them, have something like this. Then take this arms now that became the side of the truck, and you're going to move this down here, and then you're going to tab these in. There's a tab in there, you'll hear it, and there you go. And then same thing here, and take this wheel all the way in, and then we're gonna swing, I don't know if you could see it like that, and then that's gonna get tabbed in there, and you'll be left with something like this. At that point, there is one thing here. You have to turn, not at the waist, but at this other mushroom peg here. This one kind of worries me. It feels like it's a little soft plastic, so I would be really careful that nothing catches while you're turning this, just at a risk of potentially breaking this. So just really carefully, essentially you're turning the whole front to face the back, but not at the waist, at the upper chest. So you're gonna take this and fully turn it, making sure you hit nothing. And at that point, you're left with something like this. Now we can move on to the legs. So as you remember, the legs were somewhat like this. So we are going to take these and we are going to join them together. You'll see there's a section here. Don't push it in, because then I think you're gonna dull the plastic. I would lift this leg and make sure you then tab it in place like that. Next thing to do is take now these legs, and you could see you can hinge here, and you're going to then have, I don't know if you can see, there's a section here, right here where my finger is pointing at, that's gonna go sitting in here. So you're just gonna slide this in into there. So that it sits somewhat like that. Just trying to get this lined up. There we go. So you're gonna look at something like this, and there is also a tab here by the knee. You're just gonna make sure that sits in that section. So, and then make sure this is all the way in, so it's nice and seated in there. So next thing to do, same thing here, right? You're gonna make sure that these legs are together. They tend to come apart on mine. And then take this, and again, you have tabs here that are gonna kind of help to sit in place here. And then you're just gonna slide this in. So you're left with something like this. Then you're gonna take what's essentially the front of the feet here. And again, there's two little circles here that are gonna go in these two little nubs. That's what you're going to use to tab that in. And then same thing here. You're going to line those up, and you're going to tab them in. And at that point, you have the lower section of the truck fully done. Now, we come back here to the top. Make sure everything's in place here. And the first thing to do would be the upper roof section here. You can then take this. You'll see that there are these little nubs here are gonna sit right here where my thumb is at. It's not gonna necessarily tab in, but it'll fit in once you get it in place. So essentially get this whole roof section over. You'll see how it has a nice fit in there. But for now, you just gotta make sure that everything sits in place. So now we're gonna move this front piece, making sure that these tabs here and here go into here and here. So making sure that this upper roof section is kind of already sitting in place. we are then going to take these and just make sure everything kind of fits in, that it has a place to go. So now you're going to be left with something that looks like that. And at this point, because you have the lower legs and not the whole upper portion done, you'll see right here where my finger is pointing, 2 tabs that are going to fit in here. So when you fold this in, you'll see them fitting in there, and they'll tab in and they'll fit nice and sturdy. And here you have your truck mode completely done. You've got your sirens, red and blue. The truck mode itself, I definitely like. Obviously, you could see a lot of the chest here, but that's mostly the case with all the Optimus. And here's the grill. You've got some headlights and bumpers here. Well, you got the bumper here and you got the headlights up here. But so that's really well done here on the side. The wheels, they all do spin. You got wheels here too. And this is the whole bottom of the truck, which again, I think it's disguised and folded in pretty well. And again, these are the feet here. No trailer for this one, but from my perspective, I think it looks cool without it. No smokestacks. So I guess that would be one of the differences between this one and the other Optimus. But overall, I really do like this car mode. Again, I love the fact that once you get everything transformed, you know, everything kind of lines up pretty well. The silver with the black is really, really cool. And he does roll pretty well, freely. So it's really cool. One thing I forgot to mention is in the box, when you get this figure, at least mine did, this siren section with the red and blue clear plastic was separate. So I had to essentially put this on. So just something to keep in mind, this comes in as a separate piece. So if you do throw out your boxes like I do, just make sure you get this out before you toss that box. But overall, I was very happy with transformation. You know, didn't really have any issues with it. And the truck mode itself is really cool. One additional thing you could do is for storage, if you wanted to, the instructions do tell you that you can tab in the axe in any of these ports here. Specifically, if you wanted to have the axe on the truck, you can do something like this. And you can store his axe in truck mode there and take it away. So again, really cool figure. Vehicle mode's really nice as well. So certainly happy with it. Okay, guys, so as we wrap up the video here, I just want to say I'm so happy with the fact that they came out with this figure. Certainly happy that I'm being introduced to all these new different Transformers lines. You know, I had Armada in another video, and now animated, which is really cool that I'm expanding my horizons, for lack of a better term. But this figure here is an awesome representation of animated. Again, I'm glad that this is my introduction to that toy line. I'm hoping we get a whole lot more. Definitely the part looking pretty bad as they're holding his axe. Pretty postable. The transformation is great. The vehicle mode, no issues on my end. But other than that, I'm really happy with this figure. So as we are closing the video, I figure I'd do some comparisons, just some random figures. I do not have any other animated figures in my collection, as I stated during the video. Unfortunately, I missed out on those original figures when they came out. But to show you there he is next to Slug from Studio Series 86, right? And I think that's pretty comparable. You know, it'd be really cool again if they make animated Dinobots to go with this guy. I will pick those up, but just to show you what he looks like next to a Studio Series 86 Dinobot figure there. Here's what he looks like next to some Decepticons. So he is slightly taller, as you could see there, than Blitzwing. This is the Legacy line Blitzwing. Great figure. That figure was recently on sale. I guess it's perhaps not selling too well. And here he is next to Starscream. So again, pretty beefy boy. Slightly taller here than Legacy Blitzwing, and definitely a little bigger and more substantial than the Earthrise Starscream there. But really cool nonetheless. And of course, we gotta end with some Optimus Prime comparisons. So here he is next to this is the Masterpiece MP44 figure. Again, completely different line, whole different price point. This thing is obscenely expensive in comparison to something like this, but this is again really cool. So you could see some of the designs and sort of where they got the feel for this figure from the G1 design, right? So really cool nonetheless. As we move on, here he is next to another Legacy figure. This is Orion Pax. He's really tiny. This is based on the cup mold that they've used countless of times. But again, just wanted to show Orion Pax there looking very small and very tiny in comparison. So we'll move those two guys out of the way. Then we'll do a mixture. So here he is next to the gamer, I guess, gamer edition, as they call it, line of figures. And next to the War for Cybertron. So this is the OG War for Cybertron figure that came out many years ago. And this is the newer version from the gamer edition there. Before I got this guy, I saw this guy. He was pretty beefy, and now as you could see, this guy is much he's taller and a bit more substantial. They're both great figures nonetheless. But just want to show again that you know, if you're trying to build your Optimus collection like I am, then these are going to look really cool together. So we'll move those guys out of the way. We'll move on to more of the classic, I guess you want to call it classic, G1 inspired. So right here on the right, we've got them next to that is Siege Optimus with the G1 animated colors. Animated Optimus here is slightly taller and a bit more bulkier. I actually prefer this one to this one simply because he doesn't have this big panel on the back sort of just hanging down. But this is a cool figure nonetheless. And of course here we've got the Earthrise mold, which they've also released as a Netflix with darker colors. But again, really cool. As you could see, animated Optimus is more substantial, bigger, a bit more bulkier than good old Earthrise Optimus here. But again, you know, you guys could see clearly where the inspiration came from. So that's really nice. And then of course, over here, we've got Armada Optimus, which again was another figure that I was really impressed with. This is a cool toy. And definitely speaks volumes for that Armada line. And then we've got Studio Series 38. So this is the Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime, the one of the first ones that came out a while back. This is, I know they also released a premium series with, I guess, better paint apps. I don't have that one. This is the original from that line. But again, it's awesome seeing all these different designs that we've gotten in the last couple of years here, right? You've got animated, you got Armada, you've got the Bumblebee movie, you've got updates of you know, things like the video game series. You've got your G1 inspired Siege. If you want closer to you know, G1, then you've got Earthrise. So that's really cool. And then, you know, of course, you've got your Masterpiece, and we'll put him over here. But overall, guys, I gotta say, really impressed here with animated Optimus. Definitely a go, I would say, if you can get your hands on him. He's a really cool figure, and even though the whole aesthetic and the design language is slight deviation from all these other primes, it fits in again really well. And if not that, then he looks as a standalone figure, he's great. So anyway, hope you got something out of this. If I missed anything, please feel free to leave a question or leave a comment. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much for your time. I know your very valuable time for spending it with me, and I will catch you during the next video. Take care.